very highly rated, and sometimes perhaps a bit too much.
I just hate it.
Dragging a storyline that has no story.
Ooh, the fan base. It's also just so overrated. It's a good show. It is painfully overrated.
Make sure you use code DoctorAnime to save on your G Fuel purchase today.
All right, I gotta ask you, of the following three, of the big three, which anime do you think is the most overrated? So we have Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto.
Bleach.
Why do you say that?
For it being such a big thing, I haven't heard one plot story from anyone.
Oh, this is a tough one because overrated, yeah, One Piece is the highest rated, but I wouldn't say it's overrated. It deserves its ratings. Bleach is pretty underrated, but I'd also say it's the worst of the big three. But it's not very highly rated. I'd have to go with Naruto, because Naruto kind of just all around. It's good, it's my second favorite of the big three, but I think it's very highly rated. And sometimes, perhaps a bit too much.
Okay, that is really good reasoning.
One Piece. And that one doesn't really have a good reason, because honestly, it's probably Naruto. I just hate One Piece.
Fair.
So we kind of share our
Definitely.
opinion. It's Bleach, definitely
Definitely
Bleach.
Bleach.
I've tried to watch it. It goes on too long, and I can't keep up with it.
It's like dragging a storyline that has no story.
Yeah.
I would say One Piece.
Okay, and why do you say that?
See, I don't hate, but it's just super rated. And out of those three, I would say that one.
I would say One Piece. I've seen a few scenes from it so far, so I honestly haven't seen it yet, but I just don't see the humor in it so far.
I think Naruto, I've watched some of Bleach and One Piece, and I'm still kind of into it, but I can't continue with Naruto. It just feels a little boring.
I'm also going to go with Bleach. It's probably the most dropped anime ever, and it took them 10 years to come out with the 1,000-year blood arc or whatever it's called.
Wrapping back around to One Piece, just rephrasing, I am just a hater.
Love it.
Oof, most overrated. That is hard, because I'm about not quite halfway through One Piece, and I definitely am starting to see the appeal, why people like it so much. I hear it gets even better. But let's see, so Bleach is definitely more underrated than overrated. I would say it's the worst one though, so if it was talked about more, it would be the overrated one. I just feel like whichever one's talked about more is the overrated one, and around here that's kind of Naruto, but I feel like worldwide it's One Piece more. So, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but One Piece.
All right, I have to ask you, of the following three anime, which one do you think is the most overrated? Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, or Chainsaw Man?
Definitely not Chainsaw Man, that show's kind of underrated. But I'd say Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. Is there any specific reason?
The same reasons I gave earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man.
Why do you say that?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I have seen the scene where he has to work really hard just to feel someone's boobs.
Definitely Demon Slayer. I'd say almost everyone. You're not original for cosplaying Tanjiro. You're not original for cosplaying Nezuko. I see it every single day. It's super overrated, and I feel like it's very, very grueling in the beginning episodes of it.
Demon Slayer.
Why do you say that?
I feel like that's the one you see posted about. JJK has had a really big surge in popularity recently, but Demon Slayer never stopped having a really big surge in popularity. Even if content's not coming out for it, it's always been the big thing, so I think it's really overrated. I agree with that, all the same reasons.
I'm gonna stick with my Demon Slayer answer.
So I haven't even seen Jujutsu Kaisen yet. I haven't even seen Chainsaw Man yet. What was the first one again, sir?
So it was Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Demon Slayer.
See, I like Demon Slayer though. I've seen most of that, and it's really good. Oh god, this is tough. See, this is hard though, and I haven't watched the other two. But from what I've seen and heard, I would probably agree on these two with Jujutsu Kaisen because it just blew up out of nowhere. Well, I mean, it's cool. I'm not saying it's wrong or whatever, but it just definitely got overrated really soon. But and I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just it definitely gained a lot of popularity. So I guess it's getting to that point.
Makes sense.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm torn between Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man, but I do have to go with Demon Slayer because it has one of the largest fan bases, I think. And it is, don't get me wrong, I love the show, but it is honestly overrated.
I'm also gonna go with Demon Slayer. I think the plot's a little slow.
All right, so then I did say Jujutsu Kaisen earlier, but I do want to make a point that I think JJK deserves it more than something like Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer has really great fights, but so does JJK, and JJK has more substance with it. There's more story, characters, arcs, stuff like that. But not to diss Demon Slayer, they have amazingly animated fights. But I think JJK also has that and more. But slightly more overrated, but yeah.
So you're saying Demon Slayer?
Yeah, kind of. It's like
I know it's a tough one.
since
It is a tough
since
one.
JJK is talked about more and just like shoved in your face a lot more than Demon Slayer is for me, I'll say JJK, but it's close. It's like Demon Slayer kind of.
Demon Slayer's like popular. It's one of the highest. It became one of the highest grossing. Demon Slayer became one of the highest grossing media franchises, and the Demon Slayer movie was the highest grossing film of the year for 2020, I think.
True. Yeah.
I gotta say, out of those three is probably Chainsaw Man. I tried to get into it, and watched a few things about it. I cannot seem to follow what the story is or anything, so I'm gonna say Chainsaw Man.
Well, maybe in this next one it will be. All right, I have to ask you, of these three anime, which one is the most overrated? All right, we've got Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, and Dragon Ball.
That's actually the hardest one you've asked on this. Go to you. Hold on.
Right. I think what was the first one? It was
So we've got
Attack on Titan. I think Attack on Titan. I just feel like a lot of the undertones kind of overshadow a lot of what could have been really good plot.
I'll probably say My Hero.
Why is that?
I will, well, out of the other two, that's just my most comfortable answer.
Okay, Attack on Titan, from what I've heard, is a very, it's very well made, and I've heard it's like a masterpiece. I haven't entirely finished the series. My Hero Academia was overrated, but I feel like now it's kind of overhated. So I'd have to say Dragon Ball. And I love Dragon Ball. Don't get me wrong. But Dragon Ball fans act like Dragon Ball was like the first ever story ever created, and they kind of glaze in and talk about how other animes wouldn't exist without it. But like you could say Dragon Ball would not exist without Astro Boy, just because something inspires something doesn't necessarily make it better.
That is valid. I don't think his friends enjoyed that answer though.
So, unfortunate, but it just, that doesn't mean the writing's necessarily bad. Like, conversations flow pretty well, but it's just hard to think past, I guess, inspiration from it. So, just that.
Makes sense. Do you want me to come
Yeah,
back?
I got this now.
Alright.
I'm gonna say Attack on Titan, not for any reason. I just hate it, which is really bad because my best friend loves that show.
Well, former best friend now.
I guess. Don't let you see this. Okay.
I'm gonna say Dragon Ball. There's just way too much, personally. I don't know. I think it's overrated, and everybody just, it feels like every conversation has some kind of Dragon Ball if you're talking about anime.
Because that is my favorite, actually. It's Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. Oh, man, this is a tough one, though. Because mine is overrated. Attack on Titans is pretty overrated, but I love My Hero Academia, and it used to be overrated. Now, like he said, it's kind of hated, but I actually love the whole 4, 5, 6 season. Oh my god! Like, to me, it's like more like dark, like DC comics, and I love DC and Batman. So I kind of.
He's great.
Oh, that's my favorite one, even though he's a villain, but he's my favorite. I just love that decay power. That's like crazy shit. But all right. Oh god, this is tough. I said Attack on Titan. 'Cause
Tough choices had to be made.
I know. So I can't do my favorite. I love my Dragon Ball, and I like My Hero. My Hero's really good. So I guess I went to like my third favorite out of those.
Makes sense.
All right, I'm gonna say My Hero. Don't get the outfit twisted. I just love the way Shigaraki looks. Ooh, the fan base. It's also just so overrated. It's a good show. It is painfully overrated.
I'm also gonna go with Dragon Ball. I think their fights are a little too much yelling and too little technique in fighting for me.
So we kind of share this opinion once again, and we're gonna say all of them.
Literally all of them.
My Hero.
Have you ever seen a normal Maha fan?
Literally, have you seen a normal My Hero Academia fan?
You can't
Or-
be Sarah Yeager.
Yeah, that
Shut
too.
up. Stop being
And
a typical white girl.
Dragon Ball's a little too long, and I don't know what is going on.
Occasionally they just do a little.
Yeah, there. So yeah, all three of them.
All right. So first I'll start by telling you what it isn't. It's not Dragon Ball because that's the best anime of all time. So, no, but maybe not like story-wise and all that, but it is my favorite anime of all time, and I would never be caught dead saying it is overrated. So, AOT also really good. I love that. I even like the ending. I know some people weren't big on it, but I found to like it. And so making that My Hero probably the most overrated. Although I do really like My Hero. I've seen it, and you're saying Shigaraki, great character. He's great. I think AOT is just definitely written better than My Hero, and Dragon Ball's my favorite. So I'm gonna have to say My Hero.
All right.
Yeah, that's my favorite.